Fulcrum. Lisa is a specialist when it comes to job costing and construction draw preparation. She is just here today to give some of her insight on the do's and don'ts within the construction draw preparation process. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Christian. Thanks. I was asked to speak today about some general do's and don'ts regarding the construction draw process and the pay application process. And if you're watching this, you all know what you've done wrong, what you've done right, if you need help, if you don't need help. So just a few of the key things that I want to discuss today is, number one is your reputation. Your reputation as a developer, as an owner, as a lender, or as a general contractor is key to the success of your organization. And along with that key goes funding. And on projects, the faster the funding happens, the more accurate it happens, the better quality that you're going to get for the project, for the schedule, and for the subcontractor teams that are on site. You're also going to avoid any unnecessary costs. So just bear that in mind, that the key to everything is your reputation. Just a few for the developers, a few lists of do's. Do set up or attend pre-construction or kickoff meeting. That's a meeting that occurs prior to the actual beginning of construction. Normally the lender or the stakeholder is involved, your general contractor, your owner, and your architect. At this point in time, this will be when you can find out what all of the documents that are going to be required for your draw and for your pay application are. And you can ask all of your questions then, and it's super critical that you attend these. Bring in your people from the office or your people from the field, whoever you need to bring in, to make sure that everybody's on the same page with what needs to be provided and what the deadlines for such are. Developers, set up your processes and procedures for your internal and your external expectations. Prior to or at the time of land acquisition, you should already have a project set up in your accounting system, and you should already have your cost codes set up in your accounting system, and have a process for when your soft costs come in and when your general contractor's pay application comes in. I highly recommend that you do this monthly, long before you ever even begin a loan draw process. When you're accumulating all of this information on a monthly basis, it becomes a routine for your office personnel, for your approval process, and for your tick and tie checks. Also, this is going to save you a lot of time with the time of loan close. When they ask to see all the documents, you've got it all on a month-by-month basis with all of the backup documentation that you need. Developers, do carry whatever your loan agreement specific requirements are into your owner-contractor agreement. There may be specific times, dates, documentation that's required. You want to know what that is. You want to make sure that you share that with your general contractor so that there's no surprises. This is especially critical when it comes to early pays, quick pays, retention pays, partial releases of retention. So getting that resolved and into your owner-contractor agreement is very important. Set up your checklists, and I'm a huge proponent for checklists. You can ask anybody that knows me. Set up a checklist for all of your monthly required documents for your draw. Set it on top, have whoever's putting your draw process together check every single thing off. It's going to make it a lot easier, and it'll reduce any errors, which will reduce any possible delays in funding. Don'ts. Developers, don't sign an owner-contractor agreement with different terms than your loan agreement. You may be on the hook for any of these that you do so with. Specifically, payment terms. Your general contractor may insist that payment is made within 10 days of receipt of approved pay application. Check with your bank, check with whoever your investor is. This may or may not be something that can occur. And if you don't check on that, you could be on the hook for any late fees that may occur due to that. Also check and carry that on to your retention requirements. Again, critical with retention. Don't wait until you know that the loan is going to close to gather your documentation. That is a scramble. You're going to miss things. It's going to cause delays, and it could delay the loan close itself. Don't be the cause of delayed funding. We'll get back to the developer here in just a minute, but I also want to share some of the general contractor do's and don'ts. General contractors, again, do set up or attend the kickoff meeting, pre-construction meeting, and make sure that your internal staff is involved. Whereas it's critical that the developer does this, it's very important that general contractor does this, because if you're working on a cost-plus job cost plus GMAX, perhaps even a stipulated sum. You're going to need to have all of your players know what the deadlines are and what the requirements are. Again, set up a checklist for each pay application submission. Make sure that you've got every single thing in that package that you need so that there are no questions. Ensure that your subcontractor agreements are, again, in agreement with the owner-contractor agreement, which in turn should be in agreement with the loan agreement. All of this will trickle down, and it's especially critical with documentation, early pays, retention. You may want to release retention early on your underground people. Well, make sure that that's in compliance with your subcontract agreement, your owner-contractor agreement as well. If you are dealing with a GMAX or a cost plus, I highly recommend that if you have a cost code or a scope of work that is going to have more than one subcontractor involved, break it out into concrete, ABC concrete, next line item concrete, JDF concrete. Next one. What this is going to enable you to do, as well as anybody that's reviewing the documents, is to tick and tie this out to ensure that everything's accurate. It's going to save a lot of time and a lot of questions, which again will reduce any delays in funding. Know your deadlines, know when you have to have things in, know when your subcontractors have to have things in. Make sure your subcontractors know what their deadlines are too. Again, you have to manage both internal and external expectations. The biggest cause of delayed funding is offsite stored materials. At your pre-construction meeting or at the kickoff meeting or immediately thereafter, find out what documentation is going to be required for any offsite stored materials that you want to build. For example, when that happens on one of my projects, I need contact information, I need phone information, I need email, I need location. We'll need a bill of sale, we'll need a certificate of insurance. There may be special requirements naming the lender as additional insured and or loss payee. You need to know all of this because on a national basis, that is the number one cause of delayed funding, is offsite stored materials. Again, involve your team in the process. Make sure that everybody is on the same page. Make sure that you have processes and procedures in place that if somebody wins the lottery and they don't come in the next day, somebody else can pick up the processes and procedures and know how to get this and bring it to the finish line to ensure that funding occurs timely. Don't wait until the last minute. Do not wait till the last minute to process your pay application. It could be fraught with errors, which again is going to cause delays in funding. Don't assume that your math and your software is automatically correct because you had a formula in there or your software is fantastic. Everything is only as good as you check it out to be. I've seen numerous errors, and you need to make sure that if nothing else, you have a final set of eyes doing the tick and tie on that to your previous, to your current, and your total completed to date. Any single one of these, we just stop the process until it's corrected and there's an answer. So answer the question before it's asked. Again, do not make promises to your subs that you're going to pay them early or that you're going to release retention unless you're prepared to go out of pocket, because that may not be something that you can guarantee, that the owner can guarantee, that the bank can guarantee can occur. Again, huge proponent. I've put on draw preparation seminars, and I've assisted a lot of people over the years in setting up your processes and procedures. You have to have these in place. If you're already one of the A developers or A general contractors, that you're getting your funding fast, you're not running into delays, then you probably already know the answers to everything that I've said here. If you're not, and if you have questions, do not hesitate to reach out to somebody that can help you, whether that is another developer, whether it's your lender, whether it's an accountant, whether it's a general contractor. Reach out for help and get it.